B'rshut Kal HaKadosh, everybody welcome. Be'ezrat Hashem should give us baracha, tzlacha, briyut, arbe d'siyat d'shmaya. V'gam tivarech thank you for sponsoring the shiur. Kirill Daniel ben Michoel, Yaakov ben Asher, Hananiel ben Yechezkel, Igor Eliyahu ben Nadia, Salmon ben Nadia, v'gam Yura ben Nadia, Kadosh Baruch Hu tishlach lachem baracha, tzlacha, briyut, arbe d'siyat d'shmaya. Elef avdalot ben amitim lechayim, leilu nishmat, Arodi Kudo, Yechezkel ben Reuven, Arajan, Izgelov. Ruach Hashem tenachenu b'gan Eden, ובכל השוכבים עמו בכלל רחמים והסליחות וכן יהי רצון ונאמר amen. Thank you for sponsoring the shiur. I want something interesting topic that we want to cover over here. Basically, I want to give a little bit introduction. A lot of people calling me, and unfortunately it's happening. And following the cover topic will be, I understand we cannot be biased, which just means sometimes we're going to show the shiur, whatever we're going to say today, the husband would show to the wife is going to show to the husband, and you're going to say, look what you're doing, and the other party says, look, what are you doing? So the topic will be, are we allowed to hitting? Are we allowed to hit, whether we're going to hit another man, a child, a wife, a husband and a wife. Sometimes people call me and tell me, listen, my wife is raising my hands on me, is it allowed? What other things that happen in factors, he's not saying it. And that happens vice versa. So, are we allowed? Are we not allowed? How can we refrain ourselves from doing it? So, that's the topic I'm going to cover today. I'm going to at least try to cover the information that we have. Amru Chazal hamakeh bano gadol chayav nidui. A person is hitting his older child, which just means becomes after bar mitzvah. He needs to put to excommunication. Lupum tam af anu nilmad. So he says, what's the reason? Is he allowed to, because that's his child, is allowed to hit him or to give him proper education after the bar mitzvah? We're going to talk about right now. The lav davka makeh bano gadol. It doesn't necessarily he needs to hit his older child, which is after the bar mitzvah. He also causing the child that go against his father and the mother. In the Torah in black and white it says, we understand the verse like not the sectarians. We understand the verse, you should not put a stumbling block in front of the blind man. That's what it says in the Torah. So our sages say not necessarily a person has to be blind in order for him not to, he's going to trip. Blind, of course, he's going to trip. You cannot put a stumbling block. Our sages say stumbling block do not put in front of the blind person, which just means you cause another man to do things that he does not want to do. So you cause that to happen. So it's called lifnei iver no titen michshol. In front of the blind person, you should not put a stumbling block, which just means we should not make other people things to do that they don't want to do. But you're going to say, listen, he has the freedom of choice of doing it or not. But who caused it? You caused to happen. Hine ki ken lo gadol mamash. Our sage says not necessarily you need to, over bar mitzvah, you're already not allowed to hit. Ela afilu katan, even the small kids we're not allowed to hit. Kol sheyadeh bo she'eno mikabel marut. What if a child is not accepting the educational that you're given through by raising your hand on him? Kegon badorod halalu. He says, an example, this is Rabbi Eliezer Papo in Peleowetz, says in our generations, chutzpah is our generation, the obnoxiousness, which just means the people, kids, starting from the kids, then we're going to go later to the adults. Chutzpah is the being obnoxious, which just means not listening. Uben boed ba'aviv, And the father always have a conflict with the son, with the child, or with the daughter. Lo al yedei haka'ah. He says, a hearing is not going to help. Ela afilu im goer bo bakas. What if a father talking with the anger is constantly getting angry? Gam hu yichas. He says the opposite. The son is also would get angry. And that goes same thing for the mother. Ve'no mikabel ga'ara ve'emet amru. Tachat ga'ara mivin ma'akot kisil mea. He said if a person would properly rebuke, he will get it. But if you're going to hit him 100 times, he would not get it. That's what it says in the Mishlei 17:10. In the chapter 17, verse 10. Bevinin amru kol mi she'eno mevin eno mikabel ga'ara. If a person or the child does not understand the rebuke, he's not going to understand until we're going to fix ourselves. Ve'esh ben she'eno shomeh b'kol aviv u'b'kol imo. You have kids that's not listening to their parents. V'chol hu tzarich da'at avivim v'yodim mekirim et benehem she'em kashim. Most of the parents know who their kids are, what their kids are. They know, the parents know. He's not able to accept it because he's not able to listen, because it's very hard for him to accept it. The child does not have a fear of Hashem, does not have fear of parents. They don't listen when the parents tell them something, especially in our generation. And the Rav Eliezer Papa says in a previous generation also, they don't listen to the parents. It says, put an effort that you should not get angry. What does it mean? Make an effort, you should not get angry. Because Hashem says we're not angels. And we have a body, and we have a Yetzer Hara, we have a Yetzer Tov. He says, try not to work, try not to get angry, and work on your anger. Shelo litzaram. And don't make them pain and suffering to the children. Lo yidabru alehem. Do not speak about them. And we keep speaking, and sometimes we're speaking in the families, and we're speaking about the kids, and that make them feel uncomfortable. V'lo barashon ela balashon raka. Everything has to be done in a proper language, in a soft language, like it says, lashon raka, which just means a soft language, will break the bone. Yishbor garem, which just means he will break the bone. He says, not all the times are equal, not all the kids are equal, not all the parents are equal. So what does it mean? We're supposed to be chas v'shalom, do hit the children? No. Sometimes parents cannot control themselves, cannot control their parents, to control their feelings. Lechos alehem, they're getting angry. Larchifam il kalilam, they start cursing them, and they start talking negative. Yicharkushen, v'navs libam, the parents getting disgusted, they're getting tired. What the children do to the parents. Birotam osim abanim dvarim she'inam meuganim, and parents see that the children is not going on the right path and is not listening to them. Kol panim et asher bekocham la'asot yaseh yivchar hara b'mo'ato. He says, anyways, try to do everything possible in your hands to do. The rest, the most important thing, we have to know through the prayer and the tears of the prayer, that would help the child to change. Nothing else, no pills, no the smart pill, not the hearing. Says, I want my kids to go in a proper path, which just means in the Torah or mitzvot. Says, I'm going to give you advice how to do that. Says, respect your parents. The reason you getting what you're getting, because we're not respecting our parents enough. If we're not respecting our parents enough, what's going to happen to the kids? It's going to happen the same thing. But you're going to say, I respect my parents enough. I gave the whole shiur. I gave many shiurim, many lectures on respecting father and a mother. One of the hardest mitzvot to do in the Torah is respecting father and a mother. Rav Eliezer Papa says, he's giving us advice. If we want our kids to do our will, make sure that we're respecting our parents and learning according to Torah what's considered respecting. The mother is calling and she says, take me somewhere. Oof, again she's calling me. Bye, mom, I don't want to speak to you. Bye, pop, I don't want to, not right now, I'm too busy. So what do you expect the future generation to be? He says, if we're going to please our parents, of course the parents cannot go against the Torah. That's already rule number one. If the parents going against the Torah, of course we don't have to listen to them. What can you do if the generation is not listening? What do you do? While the kids living under the roof of the parents, or the teenagers living under the roof of the parents, and they're not listening to the parents when the parents told them, tell them, go to mitzvot, do Torah, learn, work, progress. The child doesn't want, or the teenager does not want, or he mocks. He says, don't pay attention too much of how much he's mocking. Once the parents, either they're going to move from that neighborhood, so they're going to be already, the children is going to get married, or chas v'shalom, the father and the mother passed away already. If they passed away already, then the children realizing it afterwards, and they say, oh, if I would have had my mother, I would have done to her like this. If I would have had the father, I would have done to her like this, to him like that. Would take care of him. So from here we learn, don't regret after the parents passing away. Once a parent's passing away, then we're regretting, how come we didn't take care of it? Now we're missing them. Now I cannot take care either the father or the mother. So what can I do right now? So now it becomes regret to the children. And they say, the children afterwards, they say, with the dust of your feet. To the what? To the parents. He says, if my parents would have been alive, I would have served them with all my strength and power. So sometimes it's a strong statement over here, we're making it. Sometimes we have parents that also butt into the relationship of the husband and a wife. That's another topic, many topics b'fnei atzmo. It has to be going vice versa. אבל אם רוצים שיחשוב להם, אז כאילו עושה כן יעשה. ביוד יכולים בידם לעשות. A parent has to do whatever he is able to do in his hand, and he needs to have a prayer. אז מחשבה טובה, כשאין יכול לעשות, הקדוש ברוך הוא מסרב למעשה. Sometimes the parents want to do real good to the child, but child does not understand. We have the general rule. If a person thinking positive, HaKadosh Baruch Hu puts that positivity, he puts that to the effect. לפי הדורות הללו, he says, according to our generation, שבני עלייה ששמעו בקול אביהם ואימם והם מועטים. He says, very bnei aliyah, which just means a people in a high level of spirituality, the kids come out to this world very, very proper and listening to the parents. But the Baal Shem Tov, Toldot Yaakov v'Yosef, there's a book called, he was the student of the Baal Shem Tov. I'm not so sure I think it says in the parasha Lech Lecha, over there it says the reason the children is not listening to the parents is because of the parents is saying. How can you blame how you make such a statement? Because it says the two thoughts comes out. The thoughts come from the father and the mother. If the thought a little bit not good when they had the relationship, that gets effect on the kids the way the parents taught when they make the kids. That's how far is it going. We're thinking, okay, it's okay, listen, he's like this, he's born like this, that's a nature. That's not the nature. And he says, Bnei aliyah hem mu'atim hem. The tzaddikim, he says, they're very real little, and the kids are listening to them. בפרט כנושאים נשים שכולם מתקוטט בחמותה. And sometimes you have a mother-in-law fighting with her. כלה, איך אומרים כלה, רבי יהודה? Bride, she's not no more bride. What do you call that, Dr. D? Daughter-in-law. Sometimes you have a mother-in-law fighting with her daughter-in-law. והדבר קשה במציאות. You see this many times, he says. Many times. שינהגו כבוד כאשר יעוד, מה טוב מה נעים לאביהם. If, it says, the daughter-in-law will respect her mother-in-law and her father-in-law, if they will respect each other, towards the kids will be way being affected. מה טוב מה נעים. ואם יהיה אפשרות להם שיפרשו ביניהם שלא יהיו סמוכים על שולחנם, כי העדר טוב מציאות רע, כי ייתן והיה לבם על בנים, לכבד אביהם ואימם יקבל שכר טוב. פירות בעולם הזה. He says, if a person working on respecting his father and mother, he will bring a beautiful fruits to this world. גם יכבדו ביניהם בנים טובים. The way we respect our father and mother, same thing happening to us. וקרן קיימת לעולם הבא. Not only that, he's able to eat the fruits of it by respecting his father and mother in this world and a share in the world to come. ואיסור הכאה אינו רק לבנו. We talked about right now, we're not allowed to hit our kids, which just means from the age of the 5, 6, 7. Okay? Not only to them, we're not allowed to hit. גם שאר כל בני אדם. We're not allowed to hit other people also. Ekalav delo yosif. He says in the Torah, if a person, chas v'shalom, sin in a lo ta'aseh, which is negative mitzvah, and the Torah says you should not add, when you do 39 lashes, so, there's a bedding sitting, and somebody, the bedding, which is the judge, is sitting, the judge is saying, hit that person 39 times because he did a sin. 39 he does, and he wants to do 40 lashes. The Torah calls that whoever he did the lashes for, the Torah calls him Rasha, a wicked person. Pen Yosef כבר אמרו, הסותר לאו של חברו כאילו סותר לאו של השכינה. מסכת סנהדרין, Moshe, can you come here please? Masechet Sanhedrin in page Nun Ched, in a page 58 following says, if a person hits somebody, soter leo, hits somebody in his leche, which means in his cheek, Rashi says, Hamakeh et leche, hu adim b'chol hamakom, elu shidibru b'hoveh. It's like hitting HaKadosh Baruch Hu. If somebody is hitting somebody in a cheek, it's like hitting HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Dichtiv zroa ramat tishaver. Iyov lametchet tedvav. In Iyov it says in 38:15, zroa ramat tishaver. It says a person raising his hand should be broken down. Ve'ish zroa lo haaretz. Rav Huna cuts yada. There was a rabbi. There's a guy who used to hit people time to time. Rav Huna take him to the judgment, to the judges, and he cut his hands off. וכן ראוי לכל המנהגי הערים להיזהר את אנשי זרוע. Says people have to be careful, and he says each leaders in the communities, they need to watch after the people that hitting other people. בפרט לאנשים בני בלעל שמכים את נושכתכם מכת אכזרי. Especially, he says, those people that hitting their wives and they're hitting them like they are their servants. טיפח רוחם של עושה אלה. פלא אוהד, says Rav Eliezer Papo, those people should die on the spot, whoever is beating their wives. שמחזיקים את הבנות ישראל כשפחות. They take the Jewish ladies, which is their wives, it's like their servants. ודורסים מכים בועלים. They're hitting them, and they're having a relationship, and they're hitting them again, like a lion. ואין להם בושת הפנים. They don't have no embarrassment whatsoever. ראוי מי שלא יכול בידו, לעזרם כאשר יכלו. Whoever able to stop this person by hitting his wife, says, you're able to do everything in your hands that you're able to do to stop him to hit his wife. ואם יכלו להוציא נשותיכם מתחת ידם, הוא ברצון האישה. If the woman wanted to get divorced with him, says she must get a divorce with him if she wants to. כי אין האישה דרה עם הנחש במקום אחד. Woman does not live with a snake under the same roof. If she wants to, she divorce him. If she does not want it, she doesn't have to divorce him. But if somebody is able to stop a man by hitting his wife, he's able to do it, he must do it. Mitzvah rabba avdeh. He would do a lot of mitzvot by stopping the man is hitting his wife. And we see also sometimes people come to the Bet Knesset, Bet HaMidrash, and they're hitting their wives inside the house. Then the wife's calling and they say, what do you teach over there? How do you teach? What are you doing over there? What does it mean? It means that the person does not listen because he's a gava and he's depressed and he has a kas, anger. La'atzil ashuk miyat oshko. He says, you able to save the wife from the man. Same thing vice versa. A woman is not allowed to hit a man. There's nobody said you're supposed to be raise your hands. Vice versa. Also, lo ta'aseh mitzvah from the Torah. Afilu la'akot yeladim ktanim en roshut leshum adam. Says nobody allowed to hit even the little kids. Ela av lebanim. What about father to the son? V'rav letalmidim. What about the teacher to the students? Uparnas ala ktanim. He says, what if a person that serving the community, afilu rav letalmidim kemo בתשובת הלקט שהיה ראוי שישיב בית דין להכותם במידה מסורה, אלא שלא נהגו, והייתה בש"ס שאמרו רב לרב שמואל בר שילת, כי מחיד לינוקה לא תמחה אלא בהרכתה דמשנא דצאת צעיד. He says, if a person wants to hit a child or put him in a proper rulership, he says you take it's a saying to say, he says you take a shoelace and you hit it with the shoelace, which does not feel anything. And that's what the sages say. If you want to do something, don't do it that you're hitting somebody maka akhzari, that you're hitting somebody with a grudge and an anger. כאשר אתה מתיר לתינוק לא תקים אלא בסורכי סנדלים, כי אתה בספר חסידים שאין רשות להכות. Anyway, Sefer Hasidim says you should refrain yourself of hitting the kids. I understand the parents come in sometimes, they're tired, the kids playing the nerves, there's no beginning of end, how is it happening? A brother is hitting the other brother, the sister hitting another brother, sister hitting brother, playing on the nerves, not livater, does not forgiving, and you're sitting all day working for them, which is, what do you work for? All of you ask you over here, or anyway, what do you do? I do everything for my kids. I do for the future. You come here, home, you see the future, they start beating each other. Problem. אלא לאו תלמידיו וכן היית בתשובת מרשדם, שאחד דקה לקטן תבוא לדין, יזקקה לו, קופצים לו קנס. Same thing he says when a Rebbe hitting the student, the student took the Rebbe to the Beit Din, and Beit Din gave him the knas, which is give him the ticket, whatever that happened. זוכרנו באיש אחד יראה שהיה פרנס על ידרים בשעת פטרתו ציווה להכריז בבית הכנסת. He says, there was a one guy, he was fear of Hashem, but he was giving money to the kids. He was taking care of the kids. And before he passed away, he says, please, I'm going to ask all the little kids that I hit that's supposed to be give me machila. If I hit him, not according to the law. כי בוודאי אפילו לבניו קטנים ותלמידים לא הותרה ורצועה להכות שלא כדין. Of course, a person should not hit the kids, the wife, the husband and the wife, other Jew, or anything. That he says, we're not doing according to the law. ולא על המס בכפיהם. A person should not be very, 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 very dangerous to the society. ועל עיין מקום שיכול לעשות מום בפיקוח נפש חס ושלום. God forbid a person hits a person and he makes a bruise on a person. That he makes many, many mistakes according to the Torah. אלא יקם בנחת על הרגליים בלי כעס. If you want to hit, he says, the children, don't hit him. And hit him, like we said, with the shoelace. And you hit him by the legs. They don't feel it. and without the anger. זה כלל גדול. כי טוב האיש יכלכל דבריו במשפט במידה משקל. Says a man, a woman, supposed to be do everything put on a scale. So that's a derech yeshara, and a person should do in a right path and a proper path. So from here we learn that we're gonna hit the shul, we're not allowed to hit. You have a problem hitting, or the wife hitting the husband, or husband hitting the wife. Work on your anger. Speak to the psychologist. Speak to the rabbis that take care of it, and you're able to control yourself and control your anger. Because the whole point of coming to this world, not to be angry all the time. How many years a person lives? 70, 80 years? Those 70, 80 years, or 100, 120 years, make sure that we live properly without working our anger. Be'ezrat Hashem, whatever shiur we said, ye baracha, tzlecha, briyut. Thank you for listening. Be'ezrat Hashem, we should continue to do mitzvot, ma'asim tovim, v'chen yeratzon v'ramar. Amen.